Mm. It's actually not boring. It's you. Do you know the funny part is, as I'm living alone, when I'm living with mommy, that'll be like, I want to go out. Now that I'm living alone, I don't even go out. You understand? I like the thing will not just come. I don't know if it's laziness, so if it's, I don't even know. But I don't go out except if I'm going to shop. That's my only outing. I don't go out.
I've not been going out. My friends, most of my
and people in my
Hi everyone, good evening. Hello.
Hello everyone. Good evening. Hi Aisha. Welcome. Good evening everyone.
I don't know if you guys can see.
Yeah, I can see you.
I'm going back home, so I just had to pack because
No problem. No
I
problem.
really wanted to be here. Yeah.
No problem, Aisha. So welcome everybody. I know it's 7 o'clock now in Nigeria, and there's a likelihood that a lot of people will need to pray Maghrib. So we'll just give people another 15 minutes, if you don't mind, people that have joined earlier. So those that need to pray will pray, and then we start at 7:15, if that's okay. So I'll leave this message in the chat. So
maybe 10 minutes?
Sorry?
I think 10 minutes is enough because some of us have already prayed.
Okay, so how many minutes do you think we
10,
should?
I think 10 is okay.
Okay then. So I'll just type it out here so anybody joining in can see.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll just switch off my camera until 7:10.
Zoom ready? Does it? Yeah. No, there was one. Eh? There was one program. I already
I thought.
Hello everyone, good evening and thank you for joining us. I'll just announce again that we're starting at 10 minutes past 7 p.m. in case of people that need to pray Maghrib. So we start at 10 past 7. Thank you.
At what time?
10 minutes past 7.
Okay, so. All right. Who is behind you? Are you stupid? Is it funny?
And please, if you can just mute yourself as soon as you join in, that would be great. While we're waiting for other people to join in. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Surayyah Ahmad. With me today is Farida Yahya. Farida, are you able to just introduce yourself in a few words? Then I'll go to Aisha Tofa, Rasheeda, and we're still waiting for Farida Kabir. She said she'll be late for a few minutes, and then we can start. Farida, go on, please.
Hi, Surayyah. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good evening. I'm very happy to be here. My name is Farida Yahya, and I am a startup coach. I cannot wait to have this conversation today. Thank you, Surayyah.
Thank you, Farida. Great to have you here. Aisha, can you go next, please?
Sure. Can you see me?
Yes, just about. We can see you.
Okay, great. My name is Aisha Tofa, and I'm the co-founder of Startup Connect. And I'm very, very happy to be on this call because I've been having, a lot of questions about the topic of today. And finally, Farida, thank you for organizing this call so we can talk about it.
Thank you, Aisha. Great to have you here. We can't wait to learn from you. Rasheeda, we didn't put Rasheeda on the flyer. She wasn't, she's more comfortable not being on, and we respected that. But Rasheeda has great experience, and we wanted her to share her experience with us as well. So Rasheeda, please go on.
Hi, good evening. Can you see me?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Rasheeda Jibrin. I'm a product marketing analyst and specialist. I'll be taking the skill acquisition course. So I'll be looking forward to the session. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you, Rasheeda. And my name is Surayyah Ahmad. I am the CEO of YDS Online and Tech Tag Solutions. I'm also a product manager, currently specializing in data science. So as we're about to start this session, I will just paste a link, and I'll paste the link in the chat section, and you should be able to see it once I paste it. Please try to fill the form. So it's a form that is asking for your basic details. And what we're trying to get from that is to be able to assess the skill set of the people on this call. So we want to know, please can you mute your mics once you can? Khadija, I think it's Khadija Ardo. Okay, yeah, I've just muted. So kindly fill up the skill assessment form, and what it will do is it will enable us to know the skill set of the people on this call, and subsequently be able to either take up the level of conversations we're going to have today or bring it down to the level of the people we have on the call. So let me just paste that link shortly. I need to stop sharing my screen to do that. So the link is currently in the chat box, sorry. So it's called skill assessment. So, okay, I think I sent that to Khadija alone by mistake. 1 second. So you should be able to see that link now. Kindly fill it as soon as possible. I'll be going through the results to quickly assess the skill set of the people that we have on this call today. Thank you. So in the meantime, I will share with you the content that we intend to discuss today. Let me go to today's presentation. Okay. So today we'll be touching on tech careers for non-techies, and this will be discussed by Aisha Tofa and myself. We'll also be talking about the skill sets you require and how to get them. Rasheeda will talk a bit about that, and then I'll follow up with some of the points. And we'll also be talking about how to land a remote job. Farida Yahya and Farida Kabir will be covering that aspect, and then we'll just conclude the call. We'll aim to finish it in just about 1 hour. We don't know if it will spill over or not. But the aim is to finish it in around 1 hour. So Aisha, just let me know when you're ready to start, and I will just bring up your content in the presentation. Is Aisha Tofa still here? 1 second. Sorry, I think we've lost Aisha Tofa for a bit, and while we're trying to get her back, I'm comfortable starting with Aisha Tofa's segment, and then once she comes in, she can go on and present the remaining section, if that's okay. So let me give you a brief, a brief history about myself. I'm originally non-technical. I studied business management, and for quite a bit of time, I didn't really know I was going to get into tech or anything. My first touch with tech came in 2015 when we had a charity called Feed the Needy Charity, and the charity needed a website. I decided to get some quotations, and it was ridiculous. Somebody was quoting $5,000, another group was quoting $15,000. And, it was just ridiculous. So I decided to go to a website called Fiverr. I paid somebody $300. And when I paid them $300, I just told them to do the basics for me. So host the website for me, at that time, a WordPress website. And then I will go and do the rest. So I was forced to go learn how to edit or customize a WordPress template. And then, I actually had a charity website at the end of the day. I wanted to do a Zakat calculator alongside. So what I did was I had to take a course in JavaScript programming so I could learn how to program that as a CAD calculator. And honestly, the rest is history. I've continued to, dive deeper into technology, from web development to ERP to a bit of Python, and now to data science and product management. So all I'm saying is, if you're not originally a technical person, whether you studied mass communication or you studied journalism or you studied language, I think tech is one of the only places that you can dive into without necessarily having a degree in that sector. Obviously, there are some limitations as well as time constraints. So it will take you time to learn certain skills, but as long as you're focused and you know what you're trying to achieve, then you will achieve that within a couple of months or even a couple of years or even a couple of months. So let's get started. Tech careers for non-techies. So there are, I don't want this to be a lecture, so I'm going to be asking for maybe some participation in between, even if it's from the current speakers. So I'll just ask Rasheeda. Rasheeda, when we're talking about tech careers for people that aren't from a technology background, what comes to your mind?
Please repeat your question.
I said, when we're talking about tech careers for people that aren't from a tech background, what comes to your mind?
I just think simple tech. I think digital marketing, because that's my background.
Okay, but you're a techie, right? You're somebody that studied computer science.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Farida, when we're talking tech careers for non-techies, what comes to your mind?
I think, like Rasheeda, I also think digital marketing, but at the same time, I also think like general communication. So marketing, advertising. I also think about design, not product design, but like brand design. So that's something I also think about. Another thing is also support. So like building community for techies or tech-enabled businesses. That's also something I think about when I hear, non-tech, career tech for non-techies.
Okay, so I have found that there are actually a good number of places that people that aren't from tech backgrounds can get into. Yeah. Obviously, there are different learning curves to this. As I said, we're going to be checking through that survey, so I'll check to see people that don't know how to use Microsoft Word, so we can, come down to their level.
Yeah, sorry about the survey, Surayyah. I think we have a question. Someone is saying you need to clarify the last question on the form.
Okay.
So maybe we can do that before we go ahead, since it's data we're going to be using.
Okay, 1 second. So it's Fatima. I literally have to exit this screen sharing to. Let me just check the last question before we go on episode.
Would you like me to read it out? I think there was an omission. I wasn't sure.
Okay. Are you qualified technically but looking for a job? Is that what you want me to clarify?
Oh, okay. Yeah, there was an omission, so I wasn't sure. But that's clear. Thank you.
Okay, is there an omission or it's fine?
Oh, it's fine.
Okay. So I can actually see some responses here, and I'm glad to see that there are 77.8% women in this session, because the target audience obviously is women. And I can see that a good number of the people that are here actually have some basic tech knowledge, so they can at least use Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, and PowerPoint. I can see that about 13.8% people here do not use computers at all. So we will try and, chip that in a bit during this session. But let's just continue in the meantime. Okay, so there is a great deal of money in technology. There is even more money if you're doing tech outside Nigeria. It can be incredibly convenient if you get into the right space. So I currently work from home, and I've worked from home in the last 3 to 4 years. My husband also works from home. So our kids go to school and both of us are at home and have home offices. And if you ask me to go back to, waking up in the morning, getting ready to go to work and going to a 9 to 5 like I used to, I'll hands down say I wouldn't want to do that because I am absolutely enjoying my work from home schedule. So there are a lot of opportunities out there for people to be able to work from home, but I think most especially for women, because it is more convenient for us when we're working from our homes than when we have to go out every day. I'm speaking for myself, I don't know about others, but speaking for myself, I love to work from home. So some of the tech careers we have for non-techies here are product marketing, as Rasheeda mentioned, digital marketing. So because Rasheeda was a product marketing manager for a good number of years, I'll just want her to tell us in 1 or 2 words, 1 or 2 sentences, what is it like being a product marketing manager?
From a non-technical side of tech, it's really just positioning your product in such a way that it's very relevant to the customer and you're going to be able to make sales and grow the product, and even for the product to get to a point where it grows itself. So really is understanding the product and in-depth understanding of the products, in-depth understanding of your customers and what they want, and just linking those two together in summary. Yeah.
Okay. And to be honest, the learning curve for being a product marketing manager is low to medium. So if you get started on the right courses, you can become a product marketer in about 6 months to 2 years. Obviously, this will include any internships you have to do in between. All of the salaries that I have put here as average salaries, they're salaries abroad, outside Nigeria, no salaries within Nigeria. And remember, the aim here is for you to be skilled enough to apply for remote jobs outside Nigeria, because that's where the dollars are, right? Then product management. So I am a product manager and I can tell you about product management to an extent, although I'm an agile or scrum product owner, if you put it that way. For me, I think product management is a bit different from other non-technical aspects of tech because it requires you to have the experience of managing a team. So what I see here is if you're a person that, for example, has had their own business in the last couple of years, or you've managed people in a work environment or within your own business and you know how to manage people, then product management is for you because you'll basically be managing a technical team. But that means you also need a basic understanding of technology, because if you don't have a basic understanding of technology, you will not be able to manage people that are producing technological products. So I think if you start from the very beginning, which is understanding basic concepts of technology, within 1 to 2 years, you should be able to become a product manager. There is research analysts, and these are people that basically conduct customer research. So people that look at what's happening out there, do customers want our products? What is the kind of user experience that customers want? I find that a lot of organizations are looking for people with psychology backgrounds or sociology backgrounds. I know a lot of women like sociology in Nigerian universities. Even when you go to sociology and mass comm, it's always a lot of women that you find there. So research analysts, especially user experience research, you find that they like people with sociology backgrounds because those people have experience with how people work and socialize. Then there's also just, read the slides for yourself, please. Read the average salary for yourself, the average time requirement. If you have any questions about any particular role, then we can answer it at the end. We also have copywriting, which is, basically SEO writing. So if you Google a product, for example, let's say you're looking for a phone, right? And the first website that comes up is Jumia. One of the reasons that Jumia might be the first to come up is because they have a good copywriter. Their search engine optimization is, done to a high degree, so you will be able to see their content first. So being a copywriter will enable you to write things in such a way that when people search, your content comes up first or second, and so on and so forth. There are also technical writers. Technical writers documentation. Sorry, I'm trying to mute the person that came in now. Okay, Nafisa. We're going to take questions at the end because let me just be conscious of time. Farida, please help me be conscious of time. So then we have,
okay, I'll do that.
Technical writers. Technical writers basically document how to use a tech product. You will need a bit of technical background to do that as well, but it's not impossible to learn. Business analyst. I personally love business analysis because people that studied business management, business administration, and all of those business related courses, it's very easy for them to become business analysts. It's basically putting your business cap on and trying to put things down into processes. So bringing business and IT together. We have content management from a tech. We have content management from a tech perspective. Content management, I think a lot of people know what content management is, so I'll just skip. Social media specialist. So to be a social media specialist, you should try and get some.
Assalamu alaikum, Ms. Surayyah, please, that content management, please, you can share some light on it.
Okay, let me go on, although I said we're taking questions at the end. So with content management, it's basically managing the overall content of an organization. So for example, they could have blogs where you will be doing blog posts. I don't know if anybody has Googled digital marketing before, but if you've done that, you will see that HubSpot comes up very, very fast, which means the person that creates their content is doing really, really well. This person will probably manage, I don't know who is not muted. This person will probably manage content on their social media platforms as well, and will create their entire content strategy. So that's just high level. The social media specialist, if you want to be a social media specialist for an international organization, it is important for you to know how to do graphic design, because what those organizations want is all in one, not just posting, but to be able to have social media calendars, be able to design the content around their post and also their communication strategy. So it's not really like the way we manage social media in Nigeria per se. So all of this require no coding skills. You don't need coding skills to do the roles that are currently here. Then we have tech careers that require coding. Now, this is not impossible to do. Whether or not you studied computer science, you can learn how to code. There are many places. Obviously, we'll go through the section that allows you to explore resources to learn. Artificial intelligence. I've seen somebody that didn't have any computer background and is now an artificial intelligence expert. It is not impossible. However, and I'm speaking to women here, right? If you're a married woman with children, these are some of the things that you should consider, that coding requires a lot of time, accuracy, and attention to detail. When I was doing my JavaScript code, one of the issues that I had was I had a baby, and it was impossible for me to keep my command lines accurate and so on. And I continued to miss a lot of things, and it was driving me crazy. So you want to make sure that you have the headspace, which means maybe your children are going to school and you have that time to actually focus and learn how to code properly. Or you're in a work environment, maybe you go to office and you have some time in between to learn how to code. So you definitely need headspace in order to code. I want Rasheeda to come in here because she's done coding to a higher degree than I did, and she can tell us more.
I'm not sure if someone who's no longer interested in coding is the best person to shed more light.
Or you can tell us why you're no longer interested in coding.
So you mentioned something about being, having the headspace, attention to detail and all of that. So even if at the beginning of my career, I did not know exactly what career to go for, the one thing I knew was that I did not enjoy coding. It wasn't even about, me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so yes, I did not enjoy coding. So it was the one thing that I knew I did not want to do. I just knew that I was a creative. So I preferred to do designs and all that. So it wasn't really about being good at it or not being good at it. I'd done a bit of it in school, but at the beginning of the career, I just wasn't interested anymore. And I know a lot of people, when they're creating their CVs, they like to say they're detail-oriented and all that. I don't regard myself as someone who's very detail-oriented because I've tried to do that in coding and I did not enjoy it. So that's it for me.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Rasheeda. I'm going to pay particular attention to data science and data analytics because I'm currently doing data science and I can tell you from the top of my head that if you don't have a very good math background and statistics background, please don't do data science. It will drive you crazy. That's the truth. However, you can do data analytics because data analytics is enjoyable and, it doesn't require as much background in terms of, maybe strong math background or strong statistical background for you to do data analytics. And there is good money there as well. You can see you can make like $65,000 and it's not going to take you forever to learn. Within 1 or 2 years, you can learn data analytics. There's also data visualization, which is something that is a bit new and brings together a bit of data science, a bit of data analytics, and then a bit of business head. So if you want to explore data visualization, it's a new field. Google it after this and look at what it entails. There is UI UX. I'm skipping some of this things, so if you want, you can research on them yourself. UI UX, UI, user interface, is different from UX, which is user experience. The applications that you use. I'm going to mute. I'm going to mute Hadiza. I keep muting her and then I'm muting her. Okay. So user interface. So I don't know which applications you use the most. Farida, which application do you use the most? Let me use something that people use a lot.
Figma. For user interface design, you can use Figma, you can use Adobe Photoshop, but currently Figma is the most used application. It has a lot of communities of, techies in it Farida, that can put people.
Sorry, Farida, 1 minute. I'm asking the application that people use, like normal application, not application that they use to design UI.
What? I'm confused. What do you mean by application?
Okay, like Paystack, Jumia app, something that people use on a daily basis.
That was designed?
Yes, that's already been designed because I want to give him an example.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, every app basically has had to go through a process of UI design.
Let me use Muslim Pro, for example, for people that use Muslim Pro. Whatever it is that you do on Muslim Pro, somebody had to design the user interface for Muslim Pro. Those of you that use Jumia application to shop, somebody had to design the user interface of Jumia. But also somebody had to test that application is comfortable and easy for you to use. And that's somebody that had to do that testing to check that it was easy for you to use are the people that we call UX or user experience specialists. I find that a lot of women have interest in user interface and user experience because they're design based. Then we have mobile development, which is app. So, all the applications that you use were developed by a set of people or somebody. And you can also learn mobile development. Then we have web development. You can decide to be a front-end dev or a back-end dev. This will require you to learn some languages. So for example, for front end, you might need to learn jQuery, you might need to learn JavaScript and HTML, CSS. Those are some of the languages. For back end, you might need to learn Python, C++, and so on. So again, we've talked about how demanding coding is, and that is what you have to put in mind in terms of the time requirement, attention to detail, and the headspace to actually be able to keep your command lines error-free. So freelancing. I had to do freelancing separately because I feel like for example, graphics and design, it can enable you to get some good amounts of money. Obviously, you need to use some Adobe applications to do this, but You can be a freelancer if you learn graphics and design. We'll talk about the platforms that you can sell on if you're a freelancer. You can also do freelancing digital marketing, and it can give you good money. You can do writing and translation. You can do video and animation also, so illustrations, editing videos, and it will also give you a good amount of money as a freelancer. You can do voiceovers for people, that's in the music and audio section. You can do radio jingles, and all of that will earn you money. In fact, there is another segment that earns people a lot of money from Amazon. So recently I've had to list a product on Amazon. And while doing that, I had to pay somebody $40 to do my copywriting on Amazon, just to list the product on Amazon. I've had to pay another person $250 so he can edit my Amazon pictures and put some infographics on them. So there are people whose specialization is just to help people with Amazon listing, and they make money off of that as freelancers. So those are some of the things that you should also look at. There's obviously programming and web development. So you can learn to edit, WordPress templates, Magento templates, HTML templates for people, and you can earn money as a freelancer editing those templates. I can't wait to finish my section so somebody will take over. Okay, so how do I know which tech career is best for me? Obviously, what we've just done is a brush through. There is so much more you can do. So take stock of the skills that you already have. Look at yourself. What did I study? For example, I studied business management. So I already started a business. It's easier for me to manage people because I have a business. So I chose product management. So consider the skills that you already have. Did you study mass comm? Did you study sociology? And then you look at the tech roles that you can use those skills for, right? For example, if you study sociology, as I said, you'll be looking towards doing user experience research or customer success or research analyst. And then you bring knowledge from what you studied or what you're currently working on to tech, and you merge them together. Some people are doctors, some people are nurses. So if you're going into tech, it will be wise for you to get into a company that is doing, what's it called? Health tech, right? So they have a technology product that is health-based, right? So those are things that you should look at. So bring whatever you studied and then find companies or roles that are in tech that match a bit of what you studied. So you're not starting from ground zero. Yeah, and Google is your friend. You can basically Google anything, to be honest, and you'll find a lot of results that will help you. So the skill sets required and how to get them. This is Rasheeda's section. So I'll switch off my video and Rasheeda will take over. Rasheeda, you're on. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, good evening, everyone. So I'll just give a bit of background as to how I got here. So I started my tech career fully as a digital marketing analyst. Now, I studied computer science, so I have a tech background. Like I said earlier, as I was starting the job, trying to figure out where to be placed, the only thing I knew was that I wasn't going to do coding. At the time, it was still kind of difficult for people around me to kind of understand why I wanted to remain in tech but not do coding. And as we can see now, a lot of careers have emerged that don't require that. So from digital marketing analyst, and really that's just a fancy word for someone who's very good with social media posting, understanding analytics. We hear a lot about social media algorithms, oh, like my post, or don't like my post, or let's post on the story, all those things. So it was just, it was a lot of that. It was and a step further, including email marketing, SEO, etc. Let me not go too deep into that. So it was a lot of that. And then moving up, it now moved to, I now became a marketing and communications analyst. So really, these things you become after time is just a product of experience, the number of years you spend doing it, what you learn and unlearn. As you're going further, you just get fancier names for what you've been doing for a long time. So really, people should not get caught up in, oh, I made this, I made that, I used to be a this, I used to be a that. It's just the more you do it, the more you learn, the more you have more experience, and you're just called something more befitting of that role. So finally, I became a product marketing manager. Now, the destination for that could have been either a product manager fully or a chief marketing officer. So as a product marketing manager, after doing all the social media, understanding customers, selling to them and all that, I became a manager and a lead in just trying to understand the product, trying to understand the customers, what they want, and then making sure the product that is being developed is very relevant to them. That's the summary. But it's included a lot of research, a lot of working with technical teams, a lot of working with sales, all around. Really, I would say what helped me succeed faster was the fact that I had a tech background. But really, the skills I'm even about to talk about are enough for you to be able to succeed in that space. Now, as Surayyah has talked about, she talked about some other roles in the careers, in the career she listed before. In being a product marketing manager, I did a bit of being a content manager, or being an email marketing manager, or being a social media specialist. Like, I touched on all of those things. So really, you can be anything at any point in time and be paid for it. Okay, so in the years that I've garnered these skills, I would say the most important for you to be able to do is, in the first place, improve your computer skills. So even working around a computer is very relevant, because the tech community is really fast. So you can't go in and then be very slow. Like, as we've seen, a good number of people are good with Microsoft Office tools. But then again, it's not just I know how to type and I know how to use spreadsheets. Is a bit further than that. Let me be able to do copy and paste here and there. Let me be able to, this is very basic, very, very basic. Let me be able to export and import and things like that before you even get to the very technical parts. Social media savviness now is for the roles that are going in content management and social media management and all those things, understanding engagements, analytics, and then simple tech tools design. So you want to, let's say everyone has a business now, and you're seeing everybody's Instagram page having very fancy things, and you too want to be able to create a fancy thing. It's very easy for you to do. Just literally just Google design tools, simple design tools. You see a lot of free of them there. And then, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, it's breaking a bit.
Like, it's breaking on my end. Yes. It's breaking.
It's breaking, but we can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. So you can Google simple website management tools, simple email marketing tools, etc. What I want to point out is Google is literally your best friend. You can pick out what is in these bullet points and just say how to improve my computer skills, and you will see a plethora of resources of things that you can do. You can Google, how do I improve my Microsoft Office skills, all these things. Now, these very basic skills are things that you would need or you would be able to use whether you're working in tech or you're not working in tech. If you have a business, you want to be able to put your business online, you need to have a website, you need to have an Instagram account, a Twitter account, all these things. You want to be able to grow your business. You want to be able to send email correspondence to your list of customers, all these things are actually very relevant. All these basic techniques, all these basic skills I've listed, they're relevant. So it's something that you would want to have, whether you have a 9 to 5 or you have a tech remote job or whatever it is. I would recommend that everyone has this at any point in time. Now, to the slightly more advanced level, say, okay, you're now ready to actually be working. For someone who doesn't have a tech background, literally just Google how computer works or introduction to computing. You need to be able to understand all the basic terms, because in working in tech, you work with teams a lot. And even if you're not doing anything very technical or you're not coding, you're going to be hearing a lot of terms. Somebody saying the server is down, someone is saying the database, somebody saying the cloud, something AWS. There are a lot of things that are happening. So you need to be able to just know them at the very least. When you know them, the more you're working with these people, then you're going to understand more. Then introduction to website management, introduction to programming languages, introduction to database management. I'm writing them like this because this is all you need to do to just go and, before you even remember the links to all the pages that you can have certificates and all that. If you cannot remember all those things, just Google introduction to website design and management, and a lot of things are going to come up, and you will not really feel as overwhelmed. Now, these skills too, they cut across a lot of what Surayyah has already mentioned in terms of all those careers. There are a lot more of them, but this is very general. Yeah. Do we have a next slide? Okay, so the non-technical side of the skills is research. Like I said, Google, and if you work a lot with techies, you see, especially people who code and they just need very, very simple, or they can't figure something out and they need to figure it out from somewhere. If you don't want to go and read, go to whatever website they're looking for, Stack Overflow or anything, just go to YouTube and type out your issue and you find it there. YouTube is the easiest place for you to try and figure out something, not to learn in depth all the time, but just for you to kind of figure out something. If you can't figure out, even after this session, you can't figure out what tech skills that you need, you can literally just go to YouTube and say, IT tech skills, what's out there, IT tech skills in 2022, things like that. So you just need to constantly be there. You also need to be able to listen and learn and unlearn and write, because a lot of things are like really coming up really quickly. So you need to be able to learn those things really quickly and unlearn the things that no longer work for you. So that's it. Do I have any other slide? Or I didn't put it in here. Okay. Before I start this one, I just also want to point out that just really pointing towards the trends that come up in IT, there are a lot of things that come up really quickly and you need to be able to be up to speed. So that's what also social media helps you with. It's not just random entertainment that's on social media. There are a lot of tech pages. There's Google on social media. There's Google has an Instagram account, Tech for Business or Business Insider or things like this. They all have Instagram accounts or Facebook accounts or Twitter. And following those people, you get to see, what's happening in tech. So if you can't even figure out what you want to do in tech now, it may come up tomorrow, it may come up in a month from now. So it's really useful for you to be able to keep up with those things. So we've talked about like so many skills that you can gain. How do you go about trying to figure out which one to pick, since there are a number of them? Okay, so first you research on them. There's so many, as we've already said. And then if you go back to those careers that have already been listed, okay, before you go there, after you've researched on your skills, then you can now prioritize and narrow down those ones that are very basic, as I've listed in the first slide. those ones that you really need for basic, they're kind of like tech survival skills. They're skills that you need to be able to survive in tech generally. So they're just those basic ones I've listed in the first place. Those computer skills, website management, just understanding what programming languages are, how computer works, just how these things work without even being too technical into it. And then after noting down those basic ones, then you can now go back to, you've already selected a career, you think this is the career you now want to go into, then you Google what are the skills required. Or sometimes even in those career pages or in those certification pages, you can see they're listed under. So you can find those skills everywhere and anywhere. You can learn communication skills off of YouTube. You can learn communication skills from a book, from anywhere. It's just narrow down the skills that are required for that career and then start to work on them. So after you've narrowed them down, then you now start to search for where you can learn them. You can learn them by teaching yourself off of YouTube, as you said, or anywhere else. You can learn them from a lot of other certification sites and boot camps, etc. You can also get degrees, which is kind of like the longer way. You really don't need that. But if, well, you're an ed tech person or you're someone who really loves education, then you can go that route. So I believe Surayyah is going to talk about all those other sites that you can get the skills, whether free or paid. So yeah, I think I've been able to cover everything.
Thank you very much, Rasheeda. That was very insightful. So I think we might have to go for like a 10 minutes break for people to pray Isha. If everybody doesn't mind, then we come back at, let's come back at, that will be 8 o'clock Nigerian time, right? Let's come back at 8 o'clock around up if that's okay. So see you guys. Thank you. Hello. So we're back. I'm not sure why people signed out because they were actually just meant to go and come back. So yeah, I don't know if it's a recorded meeting anyway. So I will upload the recording and the slides in a public drive, and you can access it after, just in case you missed. I hope they filled up the form, so at least we can email that to them. Farida is still here, so I think we will just continue. And I really don't want people to miss the next session because it's going to tell them where they're going to find these courses. Farida, should we wait a little longer?
Yes, I think we should. We should probably give people another, I don't know, 5 minutes, even though it's recorded, but I feel like the engagement will be better when people are here.
Okay.
It's already like 8:01, so maybe another 4 minutes and then we can start.
Okay. To people joining back, I can see some people have started joining back. We're going to start in another 2 minutes. We're just giving people a bit of time to come back. And yeah, we should be on another 2 minutes. Sure. Okay, so I think we can continue.
Yes, we can.
Farida, please, can you just notify Farida Kabir and Aisha?
Okay.
So
Let me send them a
if they're
message.
here, I just need to pin them just to know that they're here.
I'm on the meeting, so
Okay.
I'm with you guys.
Farida is here already.
I need to pin you,
Aisha
Farida.
is here as well. They're both here. They're
Can you
both
hear
here.
me?
Sorry.
Okay, they're both here. Cool. Okay.
Yes, they are. Can you see them now?
Yeah, I can see them. So let's continue. I'll just try to round up Rasheeda's section. So if you're looking for certain skills on how to become something in tech, so let's say you want to become a data analyst, just go to Google and search for skills required. Please, can you mute? Yes. Okay, I'm muting this person. Skills required to become then you just put the role. And trust me, you'll see a lot of articles. Just read through them, note down the skills, and then let's get to where you can actually acquire the skills. So platforms for skill acquisition. We have Coursera. Coursera is incredibly good. There are a lot of universities, international universities on Coursera. You have Imperial College London, name them, right? There are a lot of them are on Coursera, and it's actually cheap. So you can go from doing a course at just $10 a month. I know it's not just for some people. So really, if you need some sort of financial support to do this, don't hesitate to ask. Maybe we might not be able to provide it, but we might know other people like Aisha Tofa will come in here and tell you about all the programs she's doing with the British Council in Nigeria, UK in Nigeria. They have a lot of these programs to actually help you gain skills for free within Nigeria. Farida Yahya is also in that sector where, sometimes she gets into programs that give people free skill acquisition in technology. So I'm sure they will tell you about those things later. I'm just saying, but Coursera is a very good place and they're accredited. So whatever certificate you get from Coursera is accredited. I love edX. I love edX because I do a lot of my courses on edX, and it was created by MIT and Harvard. And MIT and Harvard are world-class universities. You can do a Harvard course on edX. You can do a course from Boston University. You can do Imperial College London. And what I love about edX is that it's actually a charity. So they want everybody to be able to get education. And a lot of their courses are in the science and technology field. So let's say you want to do a course on edX and you cannot afford it. You can apply for financial support. Just Google edX financial. So this is edX. So just Google edX financial support and they'll be able to give you 90% scholarship instantly, as long as you can prove that you cannot afford it. That's all. Just tell them why you want it. Otherwise, if you have money to pay, from $59 per course up until, honestly, it can get as expensive as $15,000. If you want to do a master's or a degree program, you can even do an MBA on edX from UCL, from Harvard. They do all of those things and it's like half the cost if you go to the universities directly. And of course, they are accredited. And I think for us in Nigeria, we need that accreditation because a lot of our universities are not world-class. So we want to study from places that they will say this certificate is genuine and is from, an actual accredited institution. There is Udemy. Udemy, I like Udemy. I'm a bit conservative about it. Is you can learn something on Udemy very quickly because there are tutors there from different, and it has the highest number of courses, honestly, on all of these platforms, out of all of these platforms. However, it is not accredited, so you have to be wary of that. Then there is LinkedIn Learning. LinkedIn Learning can give you a free subscription. Sometimes Microsoft, there was a time Microsoft gave me access to some LinkedIn Learning courses and they were free. So I shared them with a lot of people before they took the access away. If that ever comes back, I will share it and people can go on it to learn data analysis, graphics design, and all of that. But for now, you can sign up for the 1 month free trial and you can try to gain a certificate very quickly and then make sure you don't continue to pay the subscription if you cannot afford to. They are also accredited, yeah. There is Google Digital Garage. Google Digital Garage is completely free and you can learn a lot of courses, but they're mostly Google courses. So you won't have like a wide range of courses like Coursera or Udemy. There is Microsoft Learn. Microsoft Learn is also completely free, but you can only learn Microsoft courses from there. But you can have an Excel certificate, a PowerPoint, Microsoft 365. You can have all of those certificates. I don't know absolutely why this is annotated, but yeah. So if you can, you need to pay for your courses in dollars. We all know about the dollar problem in Nigeria. If you have issues paying for your courses in dollars, please try to get a virtual card. There is Flutterwave Bata. I'm sure there are other ones that are similar. Just Google virtual dollar card Nigeria. I'm sure a couple of them will come up. You just top them up with your Naira and you pay for your courses in dollars. If you have issues with Naira card. Landing a remote job. So this section is going to be from Farida Yahya first, then Farida Kabir. So I will share Farida Yahya's slides with you shortly. And Farida Kabir will just close that up by telling you how to put yourself out there and gain the skills that you require and gain the network that you require to land a job. So let me just share the slides now. Okay. Let me know when you can see them. And Farida, yeah, you're on.
Yes, I can see them. Thank you, Surayyah. That was really beautiful. Hello, everyone. Good evening again. I would attempt to put on my video, but if I feel like it's affecting the network, then I'll probably switch it back off again. Okay, so we're talking about how to land a remote job that pays well, right? Because there's so many remote jobs online, but the focus for this particular conversation is for people that are trying to not just make money, but also make good money. So let's start with the first slide, Surayyah. Okay, great. So what is a remote job? And I feel like most of us already know this, but I'm trying to just do this just so that we have a broad perspective of what a remote job is. So this is a job that you can do at home or at your pace that is already fixed or agreed by the person that is employing you. That's the first thing. Secondly, you can use your phone, you can use your laptop, and any other device that gives you access to the internet. I know someone that tells me that they use their PS4 and gaming device to actually connect to the internet to do their remote work. The next thing is there are different ways that you can be working remotely. So you can either be an employee, you can be a consultant, or you can be a paid intern or a paid volunteer. So where do you start from? The first thing when it comes to starting is creating your portfolio. Now, this is really important because we're in an age, especially because we're talking digital, right? Where your CV is what people find about you online, which is your digital footprint. So everything that people can find about you, either through SEO or through certain websites, but you have to be very deliberate about curating what you want people to find. So just like I put on the slide, the first thing you might want to do is to search for the roles that you're interested in, and also the companies that are actually hiring for that role and the skill sets that are required. Now, this is something that I found to be very interesting when I was doing my job search, which is I would go to, usually I use the LinkedIn jobs alert, and then I'll go to where the alert is put in.
Okay, do you want me to screen share that and you can navigate through a LinkedIn? Would you like me to do that?
I'm using my phone, that's the problem.
No, I can just go on LinkedIn now.
And navigate. Okay, that's fine. So you could do that so that it's clearer for people that don't know about it, right? So you go to LinkedIn job alert. So I think Surayyah is trying to navigate that. Once you do that, you would need to open the place where it says job description or requirements. And then once you do that, it would show you all the different requirements, first from the skill set, second to the job description of what you would be doing, right? And as you're reading through it, what I need you to focus on, I usually do this with a pen and paper, is to write out the particular words that are repeating or that keep standing out, okay? A lot of companies, especially international organizations that hire through these websites, are actually very particular about the skill sets and the kind of things they require you to do, both technical and non-technical, and even like added skills that they wish you would have. Now, this would be a great advantage for you because remember, so many other people are applying for this job. So you want to be able to stand out as much as possible. Surayyah, are you navigating it?
Yeah, I am actually. Okay. So here you go. So this is my LinkedIn.
Exactly. So there should be jobs.
Yeah, jobs here.
Yes. So can you see any job alert? So let's try a simple,
Yeah,
maybe
so
this business
I do
development or
have
business
job
analyst.
alerts for my product owner role.
Exactly. So we can open one of those.
Okay. So these are job alerts.
Yeah, so open one of the job alerts so that one of the jobs that has been posted under your alerts, so that we can see where it says the skill sets that is required.
Yeah.
Exactly. So this particular place where it says, no, not about the company, I think it's the role, where it says the role. Can you pull it down there? Exactly. So you can see, yeah, just pause here. So accountabilities, what is required, operational, influence, strategic. Sometimes they even talk about like if they need you to do managerial role or have some sort of leadership skills. And with leadership skills,
click on another one again that is
yeah,
a bit more. So this is another product owner at Iris, and it's talking about key responsibilities, key
exactly,
competencies.
competencies. Exactly. So what you want to do here is, so let me try and read through this one that you have here. So it says experienced job owner that has background in delivering jobs with key milestones and deadlines, right? So that's very important to them. You can see it's even the first thing there. So how do you show competency in delivering key milestones and deadlines? This is where when you're curating your profile, you will not just say you were the CEO or volunteer product manager on a particular project, but you'd also try to list how you were able to achieve certain milestones and how you were very, very pivotal to that. There's another place where it says proven track record of formation and management of a clear, prioritized, okay, I'm losing it. Yeah. Backing, right? That one, exactly. How do you show that, right? Do you have a project that is ongoing that or you've already done that you actually curated or started and someone else helped you to deliver it, or you actually were able to execute from start to finish? Another one here that is worthy of highlighting is excellent verbal and written communication skills. Now, how do you show this? For people that either write on their Medium or they post about certain topics, either on their LinkedIn, because LinkedIn allows you to be able to share articles, right, about your thoughts. So Medium, LinkedIn, and if you have a blog, it would be great for you to put it in there. And also if you contribute to certain blogs about certain topics, which I do, it would also good for you to be able to share links or talk about how you are able to do that.
Okay. Thank you very much, Farida. Can I just show them one thing before
Yes,
you finish? Okay, because I find that a lot of people don't know about this. But once your LinkedIn profile is updated, you should make sure that you're open to work. So if you're open to work, make sure that you're what's it called? No, hiring, providing services. Yeah. Continue. So if you're open to work, you can put the services that you provide. I'm not really sure. I usually do this on my phone. I don't know why it is here. So let's see. Open to work. Okay. I'm not hiring. No.
And I think there's also a skills quiz, right, that you can do.
Yeah, there is a skills quiz. Okay, exactly. So you can see here, it will ask you about your work location. Make sure that you put that you're available to work remotely. Usually I just put worldwide. If I want a job that is remote worldwide, you can do that better on your phone. I'm not really sure. And then you can see who can see this. So you can change this from everyone. Let me just go there. You can change this from everyone to recruiters only. Yeah, I read. Okay, yes, this is it. Actually, I'm coming. This is what I wanted to show you. Okay, so you put the job titles that you want to be hired for. Yeah, so for me it's product owner or product manager or whatever, and you put the workplaces. If you want to do on site, that's physically, or if you want to do remote and on site, which is hybrid, or if you just want to do remote completely. Then you can also choose which countries you want. For us in Nigeria, just choose worldwide because it's not that we have any option. Then you can choose if you want to do full-time, contract, part-time, or you're looking for an internship, or you're looking for a temporary role. Then, you know, I'm currently not looking for a job, to be honest, but if you're looking immediately, you can say immediately and you're actively applying, And then you will choose who sees this. So for example, some of you that already work and you do not want your companies to see that you're looking for a job, make sure that it's only recruiters that will see that you're looking for a job, not all LinkedIn members. Yeah, so once you do this, actually, people will be sending you offers. I'll just show you an example. Somebody here sent me an offer from St. Albans also. Yeah, so recruiters will be sending you offers, and then it will be easier for you to get interviews and so on. But if you're not open to work, people will not find you, recruiters will not find you, so they cannot send you offers. Okay, let me stop sharing. Farida, let me go back to your slides, right?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, so I think we've sort of covered the first one, right? About building a portfolio that suits the roles that you're looking for. Now, the next thing you want to do is to be able to showcase your product and service. A lot of companies actually have long-term, like they do hire immediately, but sometimes the process is longer. So they could actually be vetting you for a long period of time. I've had companies tell me that they've been vetting me for 3 to 6 months. Not because they're not interested or you're not on their radar, but because sometimes there's so many other people on their radar, and also sometimes they're looking for that extra, so they want to really track your digital footprint. So in this case, like I said, you have to share more opinions about the topic so that you sort of like position yourself as someone that knows, not just knows what they're doing, but also has a particular mindset about how they want to be able to either lead a team or be able to grow. Again, projects on GitHub. I know there's so many other places that people are able to upload their projects, so you could do that as well. And always link it to your LinkedIn, or also always share it on your Twitter. Okay, no, we're not done with that. Sorry, I think you've moved.
Okay.
You've moved from it. So let me just quickly finish it so that people can be able to ask questions. I know we have sort of run out of time. So remember, the idea is that you're always sharing what you know about the topic, and also able to position yourself as an expert so that people can reach out to you. Now, the next thing is for you to engage to offer value. Now, this is really important, and it comes from your research, which was the first step. It comes from you knowing who are the decision makers in this job that you're trying to apply for. And whenever you engage them, either on social media or when you send them an introductory email, which we're going to talk about later, you have to make sure that your conversation is coming from a point of how much expertise and skills you have, and how much you know about that particular role, and how you're going to fit it so well, and the extra that you would provide for them, as opposed to just saying, I'm looking for a job, I just want to, get paid, which is okay. But at the same time, again, you want to come from the point where you're at a higher level and not just asking to get any job. I've also seen cases where people send in introductory emails and saying, if you're hiring for any job around any of these things, I would love to be taken for it. That shows that you're not really sure and you could take anything. And for me, it doesn't give you an offer that you're able to negotiate, which is another thing that I find a lot of women do not do. Once they're given an offer, they just accept it. There's no negotiation. You don't do research to find out if they could have been paid more. You don't ask questions about why they are being paid that particular amount. And this is something I've learned to do a lot when it comes to negotiating and making sure I get the right value for the job that for the work that I'm doing. Okay, so we can go to the next slide. So like I said earlier, there are different ways, even though we're highlighting LinkedIn, because really in the last, I think 6 to 9 months, I've gotten a lot of job offers through LinkedIn. There are so many other ways that you can be able to do this, which is an introduction email. I did this with one of the Canadian companies I was interested in working in. So I did a bit of research about them. I saw them on Instagram first, then I went on Google and LinkedIn and researched more, and I found that they were actually hiring certain jobs remotely for the Nigerian market to serve them. And one of the things I did was to be able to find the head of Africa/Middle East, sent him an email on LinkedIn, and I got his email and actually sent him a proper introduction email about what I do and how I feel like I can be of value to the company. And that was where the conversation really started, and it took off from there. So that's something you can do as well. Another website that I know has served me well is Indeed. I know there's so many others, but I know that Indeed has been really good for me. The same thing, what Indeed does for you that is similar, but also sort of a notch higher than LinkedIn Jobs, is that you're able to create a complete profile and a resume and a cover letter, a cover letter and a resume, and have different descriptions based on the jobs you're looking for and the kind of keywords that people are looking for. And then that way they're able to match you. So they will tell you if you want the recruiter to have your direct email or if you want them to have the conversation on Indeed, and then eventually you can take it a notch higher. So you have different platforms to explore. So we can go to the next slide. So this is sort of repetitive. These are again, the sites and the tools that I use. Resume Builder, for building my resume. There's so many of them online. Zesty, I find Zesty to be really good for me when it comes to cover letters. So what it allows me to do is I write about my experience, all the skills that I have, and then the skills that I feel people will be looking for in that job role. And then also I'm able to search for the company name and the person that is hiring for that particular job role. So it's almost like in about, let's say, highest 5 to 10 minutes, I have something that is concierge for that particular role that I'm trying to apply for. And it's a cover letter that really speaks well about me and my skills. Also, it also gives me the opportunity to be able to edit certain places that I feel I should be able to put more. LinkedIn, we've mentioned already. Email templates, very, 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 very important. Create as many email templates and have them down, especially if you're researching. Upwork is also very amazing for having your profile out there. Of course, remote.io. This is something I also use a lot to search for jobs. Next slide. I think this is like the second to the last slide, right? So just to remember, if you don't remember anything else, is that the offer for the value position, remember to always negotiate. And I mentioned this earlier. You need to do research about industry standards. I've had a point where I've actually reached out to someone else that they hired. So sometimes some roles they're hiring more than one person. And I reach out to the person and I say, okay, what were you offered? And I try to do more research about it and see how, if there's an industry standard and how my level of experience might be affecting how much I'm being paid. And then don't forget to do a lot of research about not just the company, but the person you're hiring. A lot of my interviews, what I do is I research about the person that's going to be interviewing me, and I look out for words that are very aligned in everything that they write online. One of the jobs that I got recently, the person told me that it was because I was able to mention why it is important for me for women to be paid, at industry standard, and why it's important for empathy to be, a skill set that every leader has. And this is something I already know and I preach about, but I actually got an insight because I actually Googled that person and I realized that she was talking a lot about the topic. So the minute I mentioned it in the interview, she was just like on the spot, she was like, "You're hired." Like, I feel like my company would be able to work with you because we have an alignment in values. So that's also another insider. Okay, so I'll take questions. Are we taking questions now?
I think if they can start typing out their questions, and then we'll just leave the last 15 minutes to answer those questions quickly. So just type out the questions in the chat section and I'll note them down and we'll do them in order. So next is Farida Kabir. Let me go through Farida Kabir's slides now. Hi, Farida, you're on.
Okay, thank you. I put my camera on just so, the participants can see me while I'm talking. So I'm going to start by introducing myself, and then I'll quickly go through the slides because most of the things that I have on the slides, the other speakers have touched a bit on it. So thank you all guys for joining us today. My name is Farida Kabir. I'm a digital development consultant currently working at the World Bank Group, and I'm working on the Nigerian biometric system. So I'm basically a quality assurance engineer for the Nigerian biometric system. And so today I'm going to be taking us through a series of steps of what you need to do to get to that particular either remote job or that particular job that you've been eyeing for quite some time. So after doing the skills, looking for those jobs on the internet and every other thing, there are other certain steps that you need to take, that would get you to where you want to get to. This is something that I use all the time in the course of my career, and every other time. I mean, I literally went through this particular process last week, and it has always proven to be effective for me. So let's take the next slide. So for you to, there's one particular thing that is very important, which is you being visible, putting yourself out there to attract the opportunities that you want. So you can either go two routes. Either you go seeking the opportunities by yourself, or you put yourself out there and make people know that you actually have this particular skill set, any one of the skill set that you decided to, build upon, whether you want to be a web developer, a UI UX designer, a data analyst, any one of it. So, you have to strategically and consciously put yourself out there to attract those opportunities. And for you to do that, there are 4 steps you need to take or you need to go through. The first is you need to reflect. That means you need to reflect on the current status of where you are at the moment. Then the next step after that is you need to research. So you need to research to make informed decision. What's happening in the industry? What are the current trends? What are the things you need to be doing? After you're done with your research, you've gathered your data, the next thing you need to do is now develop your own strategy on how you want to, put yourself out there to attract those opportunities. And as soon as you're done with your strategy, you move into implementing it. So it's one thing for you to have a strategy and it's another to implement. So what is reflection? That's the first step. So I'm going to take you through these 4 steps, bit by bit, and we're going to start with reflection. The next slide, please. So the first thing you need to do, like I said, is reflect. So what you do in the reflection stage is you just need to take some time to do a 360-degree assessment of yourself. And I'll show you how to do that in the next slide. So there are certain questions that you need to ask yourself. Let's see the next slide, please. Okay, so how do you self-reflect? First of all, you need to be very clear on your career goals. What do you want to achieve in the short term, medium term, and long term? Say, for example, you're probably a UI UX designer. What is your short-term, medium-term, and long-term goal? It might be you want to work for a startup in Nigeria, or you want to attract remote opportunities, or you want to even relocate completely out of Nigeria to go and work as a UI UX designer in another company. But you need to actually be clear on those things. Then the next thing you need to do is to assess your current stage. So as a designer, as a UI UX designer, based on your goals, do the right people know about you? And by right people, I mean those people, the way they say it on social media, your helper. When you post something on the timeline and then you say retweet, my helper is on your timeline. So those are the right people. Those people that will get you to where you want to get to. Do they know about you? Have you positioned yourself to attract the right opportunities? And then do you have access to the clusters where these opportunities are? So these opportunities, right? Some of them, one particular area or one particular cluster that is very important is at networking events. In the tech industry, there are plenty of tech networking events that are available for you. There's one that is even currently ongoing called Oscar Africa, Open Source Festival for Africa. Yeah. So in those kind of networking events, that's where you meet a whole lot of people in the industry. You meet, developers, designers, engineers, all sorts of, career people in those places, people at the beginner level, intermediary level, and expert level, people that even own companies, So that's where you meet them, they present, you talk to them, you network, and you speak with them, and then you get opportunities presented at you at those kinds of events. Now, once you're done assessing, then you look at your accomplishments. What do you know that are your capabilities? What are you great at? What makes you stand out as a professional? Now, once you're done with that, move into, carving out what you want to be known for. So what are the key specialties in the sector that you operate? What are let's say, the top 3 to 4 issues you're passionate about in those areas? As a designer, it can be anything. So for me, I'm going to use myself as an example. I'm a software engineer for starters, but currently I'm doing quality assurance engineering, and I'm focusing on biometric systems. So that is the particular area in software that I'm interested in and I'm passionate about. I've been doing this for quite some time now. So you need to identify what are those issues that you're passionate about that you want to specialize on. Now, the next thing is to build mastery. So what are the skills needed for you to level up in that particular specialty? It can be to take a course, it can be, to go for a boot camp, it can be for you to do an online course or a certification course, because some of this skills, there are international certification bodies that, render some of these courses for you and give you certifications for you to identify as a professional. So I'm going to give you an example. Like I said, my specialty area is in biometric software, right? So there's a particular agency or organization called Identity Management Agency, and what they do is they give certification courses in different aspects of biometric, either identity access manager or risk and governance, compliance. You can go and pay for that certification and do the certification and upskill yourself. So let's go to the next slide, please. So that's how you self-reflect, Now, once you're done with your self-reflection, now you have to research, and you need to research to make informed decisions about putting yourself out there to be visible, to be able to attract these opportunities. Now, how do you do this research? That's what we're going to see in the next slide. Now, for your research, you actually have to define what is the objective of your research. What is the goal of the research? You have to be specific. What do you want to, is it your goal? Is it to find out what companies are currently hiring for, say, UI UX designers in Nigeria, or what companies are hiring for UI UX designers in the US, and how is the process like? You have to just have a goal for what you want to research, and Google, like everybody has mentioned, is your best place to do your research. Now, you also need to do a stakeholder mapping. Who are the stakeholders in that particular area that you want to either specialize in or you want to grow in that trajectory? So the stakeholders are the people that are important. So are the key people that are important and have been contributing over the years, and they are considered as influencers in that particular industry. So if you're a designer, I can tell you in Nigeria, you need to know someone called Namso Upana, or you need to know someone called Kingston. And there are many of them. There's even someone called Daniel. Those are top designers that design for top Nigerian startups. So those are part of your stakeholders. And that's not the only stakeholder that you should be looking at, the tech ecosystem is actually very large. So you need to look at a whole lot of stakeholders. You need to map them. Who are the key people you need to align with in your sector? Just like I mentioned a couple of designers, that those people, you actually need to know what they're up to, because they're always pushing out content that would even help you. And those people have networked to other people that might be your helpers, like I mentioned. Now, when you've identified those people as your stakeholders, you need to identify what are their level of influence and interest in that, your specialty. So for example, Kingston and Namso is like a senior high-end designer, while Kingston is like a mid-intermediary designer. So you see the influence that Kingston has is definitely different from the influence that Namso has. These are real people that I'm telling you. If you go to social media, Twitter, you look for the handles, you would find them. So you need to understand this particular person, the influence that he has, is it aligned with what I want, what I'm looking for? If it is that, then that means you need to make friends with that people. You don't necessarily have to be, all, pushy about the friendship, but you can do like a cordial, professional kind of relationship with them. And then, some of the things that you need to look at is, what are their needs? How do you help them make their needs? Because when you want to approach someone, you also need to be very strategic about it. You don't always come to them and say, look, this is what I want. What are you offering also in exchange? You need to research and know all these things. And then you need to also look at the digital platforms that they are on. Most of them are on Twitter. Some of them are on Instagram, but I assure you most of them are on Twitter and on Medium. They write a lot on Medium. They share information on those platforms. So you need to look for the maybe top 2 platforms and you sign up on it. And you also need to look at what type of content do they put out. You too, you need to know what type of content you want to be putting out on those social media platforms that would make them see you as someone who is worthy of being aligned with. I hope I'm passing down the information. So let's go to the next slide, which is where you now develop your strategy. After you've done your reflection, you've done your research, you now develop a strategy for putting yourself out there to attract this opportunity. So this is like a simple, goal pyramid, where you start with your goal, you develop your strategy, you develop how you want to execute your strategy, and then you identify the resources that you need to execute your strategy. So in this instance, because you're trying to attract opportunities, your strategy might be, okay, I'm going to identify 3 networking events in the tech ecosystem that aligns with my specialty area and I'll attend. And when I attend, I want to ensure that I speak with at least 10 people. And then speaking with those 10 people, I want to go home with the contact information of like 4 people that I believe would be beneficial to my future or to my career. And then the resources that I need definitely is your internet, your mobile device, and then you literally carrying yourself to the venue, paying your transportation fare to go to the venue. So, some of these things, these are some of the sacrifices that you need to make to be able to, get to where you're going to. So let's see the next slide. So the next slide will show us some of the sample strategies. Okay, the next slide, please. Let's see the next slide. Can we see the next slide? Okay, yeah. Some of the sample strategies you need to consider, things like building your capacity, the areas where you are lacking, in that particular industry, you need to build your capacity on it. Then you need to put together, there's something I call the social lifeline. So those are your CV, your LinkedIn profile, your professional bio, and your professional headshot image. Just look at Surayyah's what do you call it, DP right now on Zoom. You can see this is a professional headshot that she did. This is you positioning yourself as a professional, or you want to attract the right opportunities. You wouldn't necessarily see Surayyah's picture probably in a salon. She posted it on that on Zoom or on Twitter as her professional headshot. That doesn't necessarily speak to her professionality. Even though these things, sometimes we might call them as superficial, but they are very, very important when it comes to career building, right? And then there's also something called Linktree. It's an app where you organize all your important links and, put them in links, and then put just one link. You put it probably on your bio, maybe on your Twitter bio or your Instagram bio. You have just one link. When you click on the link, it opens several other links to different profiles of you, whether your Twitter profile, your LinkedIn profile, because LinkedIn is actually very, very important. On LinkedIn, I've secured a lot of remote opportunities. Currently, I'm actually doing like 2 different remote jobs. I'm not even working from the office. I can't remember the last time I worked from office. That should be like 3-4 years ago. I work remotely and I earn in USD as well as I earn in Nigerian currency. But I had to do all these things. I keep doing them, and it's not just one process. You have to reiterate and keep doing it at every point in time. Now, another thing you need to do when it comes to strategy is creating your networking plan. You need to look at the events that are happening in your industry. Choose the top 3 to attend. You know which one of the events can help with your visibility and positioning you, and as well as networking within the industry that you operate in. You choose them, you attend, and then you also create your digital media and content plan. Like I mentioned, yes, you actually have to be active on social media. There is no way you would be able to attract opportunities to yourself if you don't constantly project that you are a professional, you know what you're doing, and then you put out content based on the things that you know that you're doing. So let's have the next slide, please.
Yeah, thank you very much, Farida. Just to keep you one hour with time. I will need to go by 9 o'clock. I actually have another meeting that I postponed. So
okay, we're rounding up now. The last slide is the execution slide. Basically, after you've done your reflection, you've done the research, you develop your strategy, then you now start executing. Executing means taking action. What do? You share your content on social media, you attend all those relevant events, you pitch yourself for opportunities. You don't be shy of speaking to people, walk up to people, talk to them, introduce yourself, tell them what you do, this is what you're doing. And then at the end of the day, when you converse, you let them know that you're actually open for opportunities, whether they're remote or whether, look at the opportunities that you're open to, you share with them and let them know. And then, you also give feedback, and then you also don't hesitate to get feedback. And then at the end of the day, you measure and evaluate these strategies and all the things that you've been doing. Is it bringing you closer to that particular goal of yours? If it isn't, then you need to look at it and see, where are you going to reiterate? What do you need to change? How do you need to make it better? And then you keep doing it over and over again. So let's see the next slide. Oh yeah, so you basically, this is like a quote from Alvin Toffler. He's a writer, and he said the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but rather those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. So you see, everything that we've spoken about right now, we're teaching you something new. You already know of something, but we're teaching you something. So you need to unlearn some of those things that you've already, learned. You need to learn new things that we're teaching you. And, you need to start applying some of these things that we're teaching you. I mean, you don't necessarily have to take everything 100%. You just need to take what exactly would work for you and what exactly would take you to the next step from where you are. So I hope this brief presentation of mine has been impactful for you. If you need more information, you can contact me on all my social media platforms. It's at Reeda KH, REEDAHKH across all platforms. You can also send me an email. You can send me a DM. I'm always responding to messages from people that ask questions around career and every other thing. So thank you very much for listening to my presentation.
Thank you so much, Farida, for an amazing presentation. So I would if Aisha Tofa is here, I want Aisha Tofa to come up. We also have Suleiman. Suleiman is one of the audience, but he wanted to share a bit about how to get a remote job because he's currently working in one. So we'll give Suleiman probably around 3 minutes after Aisha Tofa before we take questions. As I said, I would need to go by 9 o'clock. So I might have to pass over when I'm going. Aisha, you come.
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. Thank you, Surayyah. Good evening again, everyone. So due to the time factor, I think we just have to, wrap up. So I'm going to take maybe 5 minutes or less. So I just want to reflect on what all the speakers, talked about, because my slide is also, it aligns with all the slides that you've seen. So I just want to talk about the key takeaways. I don't know if you have realized almost all the speakers talked about positioning yourself. This is very important. You see all those networking events that you don't want to go, they are very important. You see LinkedIn account is very important. You see these events that are happening. For those of you that are in Kano, because I'm in Kano, so I'm going to have to, talk about what we do. Those of you that are in Kano, that we keep, reaching out to, attend these events. For example, we have CEEP going on right. It's starting on Monday. It's a British Council event. They are trying to, teach people how to use their e-learning platform. Why is that? Because everything is now going back to the digital space. You need to learn how to use these digital platforms for you to be able to position yourself and then land these remote jobs or learn some skills. So align your goals and visions. They are very important, because if you don't have plan, if you don't set plan on what you want to do with your life, even if you have the skills, they might not be of use to you. So check YouTube or Google, like all the speakers said, Google is your best friend. YouTube should also be your best friend. See how you can align your goals and vision. Watch the videos and try to do that. Set your goals. Know your priorities.
Hi, Aisha, I think you're breaking a bit.
And then you start. These things on... Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So if you're in Kano, you can reach out to us at Startup Kano. We do these kind of events all the time. We do meetups. We call mentors to come and talk to, young people in business, and, to guide them on all these kind of things. And then I know moving forward, we'll be doing this kind of webinars with Surayyah and, the rest of the speakers. So please do not take all these things for granted. I am very sure you guys have learned a lot today. I'm very sure of that. So please, I think I'll just have to, go now. And then the next person will also give us maybe, okay. Sorry, you said 3 minutes, right?
Yeah. So Suleiman, please, can you go for the next 3 minutes?
Yeah, sure. Good evening, everyone. Can I share my screen?
Sure.
Okay. So I just want to show you guys where you can get a remote job. I don't know if you guys know VanHack. I've been listening to this from A to Z, and none of you mentioned VanHack. So VanHack is a platform where women and men actually can get a job, a remote job. So this is one of the events that's coming next, I think April 5th, if I'm not mistaken. And this is for just women So I'm going to be sharing the link now on the chat. This is for women. I think they did for the men last month, which I participate, and I got a job from there. Again, there's resources here where you can actually learn how to answer interviews. You know, at times, but it's not just by getting an invite, like interview invite, is how to actually take or do that interview, you know, right, you know. So all this platform would actually show you, guide you on how to answer interviews, you know, but then it's just for like tech, like software engineers and product. Yes, I think that's for software engineers, UI UX and product managers. Yeah, it's not, yeah. So I think that's just all I have to share. It's called One Hack and it's very, very good on platform and it's really, really real, you know. And for example, when you even go to the job section, for example, sorry, I was supposed to go to job section. You can see like all the jobs and the money, like if it is remote, you see it. If it is the location, you see it, and the salary range, you see everything, and everything is for you. Like I'm telling you based on experience. Like this where I got my recent job. I'm working 2 jobs and they're all, so one is Canada, one is in New York. So thank you. Let me stop sharing and share the link on the chat.
Thank you very much, Mama. So the truth is, you know, this has been very short for us as well. We had a lot of things to share. We couldn't even finish sharing everything that we have. But, you know, we'll just take questions and hopefully we'll have this again soon, inshallah. Then if you've also filled the assessment form, we will have your email. And so what we'll do is we'll email you a link to a public Google Drive, and the public Google Drive will have all of the slides from this presentation, the recording, and then the contact details of the speakers. Please, can you mute your mic? Let me just quickly take some questions here that I have seen. I've seen people asking about remote job for people in the medical field. So I don't know anybody does anybody have experience with this, and can they answer that amongst the speakers, please?
Yes, let me take that. So for you to get remote jobs, really, you have to, like we said, you have to go on Google and search it, but there are particular job boards that are always posting it. So for example, I think almost every day I get notifications of different job descriptions for the healthcare industry. And these are mostly remote. Some of them are remote, but not everything is remote. Some of them you actually have to be on ground because of course it's in healthcare. There's an organization called IOM, International Organization for Migration. They are always hiring for healthcare workers. Always. I think in a day they hire I think they're always putting out maybe 10 job descriptions. So basically you have to go to Google and look for these things.
Sorry, Farida, I'm just trying to mute everybody because it was interrupting. Thank you very much.
But just to add to what Farida said, I know there's also Dr. Mo on Twitter. I can't seem to remember his handle. I'll probably find it before we close. I know he also posts remote jobs and hybrid jobs for healthcare, people in the healthcare industry almost on a daily basis. So I'll find his Twitter handle and put it in the chats as well for anyone that wants to follow up.
Okay, so let me bring out this question from S. Duze. He said, I'm an electrical engineer and computer science. I find myself as a driver to one company. He's confused and he wants to build his tech career, but he needs some guidance. So what I would say is, because you already have a technical background, it's very easy for you to, start coding immediately. And what I would advise is you download maybe an application on your phone. Just Google apps, free applications for learning how to code. Download it on your phone when you get your breaks. I know a lot of drivers, depending on the kind of organization you work for, you get left outside for hours before somebody comes out. And that's a good opportunity for you to learn how to code using your phone. have your charger at hand, some data, and just continue to learn how to code. Join a community if you can, so that somebody can help you with your accountability. Google Tech Communities Nigeria. There are a lot of tech communities in Northern Nigeria. Reach out to Aisha Tofa. She can help you a lot with that. So make sure you have an accountability group that will be able to tell you, okay, I think you've gotten to this stage and you're at a good place to start looking for a job. Look for a group of people, because doing this alone can be really lonely and you can lose motivation as well. Just looking at all the rest of the questions. Now, somebody said, I want more explanation on how I can create a gig in LinkedIn or Fiverr or any freelancing platform. Creating a gig on LinkedIn, I am not sure. I've never tried it. Fiverr is very easy. I wanted to put us through that, but there's just not enough time. So you can create a gig on Fiverr or Upwork. Usually there's a problem receiving money as a freelancer in Nigeria. Sign up to Pioneer. It's Payoneer. Because if you're on any of those platforms, they will need to be able to pay you, right? You can also Google how to receive money as a freelancer from Fiverr or Upwork, and I'm sure you will see a lot of options. Google is really your friend. If you Google something, you don't get the right thing, try other word combination and Google it again, you will find resources. And just watch a video on YouTube, how to create a gig on Fiverr, Upwork. You should be able to do that very easily. Let me just go through another question. Okay. So there is somebody said, is it good to have a CV for all job submissions, or is it better to have a different CV or resume? I cannot overemphasize the importance of having different resumes for different JDs, okay? Because a lot of the websites that this companies use for recruitment, they have artificial intelligence or machine learning or wherever. Some of them, the very moment you submit your application, they search for keywords within your application. If what you submitted in terms of your CV does not match the keywords for the job description, they throw out your CV. That's when you received your unfortunately email. Immediately you submitted your application. The system does not even wait. So make sure you align your CV to the job description. In fact, try to do case studies, right? So if you've identified a job you're really passionate about in a particular company, let's say, for example, you want to apply to Facebook, let me not even say Facebook, let's say Paystack, right? You want to apply to their e-commerce and you went on their e-commerce and you saw that something was not working very well. Take that as a case study, try to work on it. Look for resources online, Google how to make checkout page better. Get them a case study, attach it to the job application, so they know you're actually very serious about working with them, and you've even gone ahead to get a case study to help them solve a particular problem. A lot of organizations, when you do case studies, they don't even bother to interview other candidates. They focus on you. So in addition to CVs and cover letters, try to do case studies for certain companies. To be honest, this session is not enough because we couldn't cover everything, but I really have to go now, and if I have to go, then I have to end the meeting because I have another meeting now. But thank you so much for coming. I really hope you've learned something and you've gotten something to go home with. Your emails that I have, we'll try whatever we get, whatever opportunities, we'll try and send you emails. I'm very short on time, but I'll definitely try to do that. So I can see people asking for the Google form. Let me just paste it out for you again. Any other questions before we go? We should be closing this in the next 2 minutes.
I think they can email any other question they have, since they all have, and then we can try, respond via the emails. And then our social media handles are all there also. So
okay, so
for the next session, we'll definitely send you emails, and then you will see a flyer. So yeah, thank you very much.
Please, can I ask a question or can I comment?
Go on, you have like 50 seconds.
I'm very sorry for commenting late. Actually, like I said, I talked with Aisha Tofa today in the morning, and I shared all this information on the platforms of the Arewa Youth Mentorship Program. So we have like 5,000 youth in the group, and I'm sure a majority of them, like most of the attendees here, maybe some of they are from the group. So I will be very happy to always share your activities with the group. They are all Arewa men and women, and this is exactly the type of things we do. Maybe some of you have joined our programs before, and some of you are new to it. So I think it's a good opportunity for us to come together since we have the same goal. You can check the YouTube pages also for our past programs. And I will also send you a message, maybe Surayyah today, so that even for today's session, we can share with them also.
Thank you so much, Yakub. Why don't you send me an email so we can talk about this more?
Yes.
I have just seen a very important question that I think I should answer before we go. Somebody said,
Yes,
how do I get scholarship from those organizations earlier mentioned? I would like to have a tech career in cybersecurity, being a lawyer. Just Google edX, EDX. I said I'm going to just email you guys the slides so you can see all of those resources. edX has amazing courses from prestigious universities on a lot of those things, including cybersecurity. When you go on edX, Google edX financial support, and it's a form. You just fill it up, and they should be able to give you up to 90% of the cost of the course you're trying to do. So I hope that answers your question. EDX edX. Yeah.
Sorry, Surayyah, before we close, right, just quickly, for people that are putting their email address on the chat, please fill the form. That's how we get your email address. If you put it on the chat, we won't be able to track it.
Yeah.
So fill the skills assessment form. That is how we will get your email address, please.
I
honestly, I can't. I don't have the chance now to copy.
I just shared our Telegram community group. You guys can join it. We share so much opportunities on that, and then I'll get all the ones that Surayyah and the other speakers have, and I'll also post them there.
I'm still posting the form, so I'll keep this on for. Oh, I was posting it to Suleiman. No wonder. Sorry, everyone. I've just posted the form again. Posting it a few more times. I will leave this on for the next couple of minutes so you can submit the form if you haven't. Yeah, thank you very much and have a lovely evening. Thank you, the speakers. Amazing. Well done, ladies.
Thank you, Surayyah.
Thank you.
All right, bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, ladies. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Mrs. Farida, hi. Thank you very much.
Hi, Mariam. You're welcome.
Thank you. Session. I was like, I mustn't miss this.
Yes, I'm glad you were able to join. Well done,
Yeah,
Mariam.
thank you. Thank you so much. Bye. Hello.
Hello. Hello.